السلام عليكم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Greetings to everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us if you're able to. This is our first live stream on YouTube. So it's a bit of an experience and I guess experiment as well for us and for you. Um, I've been moved to speak this morning, inspired to speak on relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not referring to male female relationships, marriages, or anything like that. We will touch upon that, but basically, the relationship dynamic between friends, brothers, and sisters, and how they are so terribly under attack. Um, if you look at what's prevalent on social media, and of course, social media is not the truest reflection of what our real lives are, but it is somewhat of a reflection of what our lives are. And what people post about can give you somewhat of a feel of what's going on in the culture. So you see, unfortunately, one of the most common refrains in the social media realm is hating. People are constantly accusing others of hating on them, hating being envious of them, or wishing that they were in a similar or identical position as the person who they are allegedly hating on. And that is a legitimate human condition and problem that people have of envying others. Allah speaks about this in the Quran. Um, so it is a reality that this is a sickness that human beings at times have and display the ill effects of is being disdainful of the bounty given to others, the favor that others have received from Allah, because no one can give you anything except by Allah's permission. No one. If something is allotted for you, if something's written for you by Allah, all creation can't stop you from receiving it. And if something is to be withheld from you, if it's not written for you from Allah or by Allah for you, there's nothing in creation that can give it to you. There's no circumvention there, none. So when we receive, of course, we receive by the means of people and things, entities. That has to be very clear. And if that can be remembered by those that have this illness in their hearts, may Allah save us from it and protect us from it, then um, they can become immune to this. When you look at Allah being the sole and ultimate grantor of bounty, then when a person sees someone receive something, if they want something similar, then they should go um, to Allah for that thing. And if Allah so chooses, He will grant that person that. And if He chooses to withhold it, we know that no dua is unrecorded, and actually no dua is unanswered. You may not see what it is that you're looking for in this life, but surely you'll see it in the next life, for surely, in some shape, form, or fashion. And we also know that we are subject to the rule of Allah. We can't make anything happen except by Allah's permission. And so this is a massive issue in this age of people feeling hatred toward others for what it is that they've received by Allah's permission, as opposed to the opposite, feeling happy for them or joy at whatever it is that Allah has blessed them with, and it's eating people alive, from the inside out. Now, that being said, and this is tying into the brief words I want to give you, have legitimate issues, not necessarily of a positive nature, that have to be addressed by those close to them, their friends and their family. And when you offer this advice for that person's own good, their own well being, the knee jerk response is to say, "Oh, he's jealous. She's a hater. They don't want to see me doing good. They don't want to see us happy. At times, when you have, you know, groups of people or more than one individual who you are trying to advise about a potentially destructive behavior, their knee jerk reaction is to say, oh, he or she is hating." So let's put that in perspective. When you have a friend who you love and they love you, um, be it brother or sister or family member or even a spouse, if they love you sincerely and you really believe that, that there's trust established between you two, and they give you advice about a thing, it would behoove us not to have the knee jerk reaction that this is an attack, that they're out to get me. Because if you feel that, then you should really reassess the relationship to begin with. Why are you claiming to be close friends with someone, or even in some cases married to someone who seemingly dislikes you? Because if somebody's telling you something to harm you, it should be understood that there's some malice behind that sort of thing when someone is intentionally saying something to be harmful. So if that's the case, it's not that instant that you should look at. It's the totality of the relationship. And you should question yourself about what it is about you that has you fostering relationships with people that don't like you or don't want to see you do well. And you have to change that behavior and surround yourself with people who mean you well and have good intent for you. This social media phenomena has turned into a bit of a circus, because what's best for the human being, which is modesty, and modesty involves covering a large degree of our personal lives and our person. Social media has promoted a culture that fosters the opposite as what's considered to be a normal behavior. So you have couples who have behaviors that uh, are better displayed behind closed doors at home. They broadcast this to the whole world. Private aspects of a person's life have now become public domain. So it has effectively lowered the level of self respect and privacy that, or perhaps I should say privacy, and as a result, the level of self respect that has been accepted as a norm in many cultures for millennia. So there was a time where people would say, there's an old saying that says that you don't air your dirty laundry out in public. Well, in that time, people would wash their clothing and then hang it on a clothesline. And so some clothing can be rather soiled before you wash it. And so why would you display that to the world? That's something that should be hidden away. Actually, far more than dirty laundry is displayed every day on platforms that we use every day for commercial purposes or for whatever other reason, Facebook and Instagram and these platforms, to hundreds of thousands and potentially millions, and with no exaggeration, billions of strangers that can be privy to the private details of your life. And so you're inviting um, potentially malicious energies from people who don't even know who you are. Uh, Hasad is not just something that is just a feeling, it can literally affect you. And there are hadith which support this. Allah says in the Quran um, that we should seek refuge with Him from the evil of the envier when they envy. Allah says this. Yeah. So this is divine advice, and He knows about this human creation better than anyone because He created and He owns it. So protection from hasad is an integral part of forming a trustful, healthy relationship with your brother or sister, protecting them from your hasad because it can be almost a human thing at times. When you see someone receive a blessing, it may be the thing that you've been praying for years, and you see them get it, and you're confronted with this choice, not unlike what Iblis himself was confronted with when Allah created upon Adam and bestowed upon him the Khilafah, and he felt like it should have been him because he'd been working and doing things, and he felt like he deserved it. So, this is something to look at when you're with your beloved friends is this feeling of deserving or entitlement. When you give to your friends um, in any relationship, when you give to your spouse, yes, reciprocity is something that should be practiced. And along with that, I'm not inviting anyone to accept abuse or being misused in relationships. And along with that, one should never give to anyone with motives of being repaid or being recompensed by creation. It should be where you are literally giving for the sake of Allah, to the degree that you should understand that you're literally giving to Allah Himself. So when you give someone, don't look at the form, put Allah there. You're giving so that Allah will be pleased with you. And we need that. We need Allah. We need His pleasure. We need Him to be pleased with us. That's the currency of this great life experience is the pleasure of Allah. That's the currency that you can spend, is Allah being pleased with you. Um, Allah is in need of nothing, and He accepts what He accepts, and He accepts what pleases Him. And so, therefore, we should work diligently to do those things that please Him. So, I won't be too long winded. This is my first live stream. I just want to caution um, myself and whoever may see this that I'm sorry, that we have to be um, diligent and very conscientious when it comes to maintaining our relationships because this is an area that Shaitan is continuously attacking, is our relationships. Why? Because he hates to see human beings unified. He hates to see them unified in good ways, in good enterprises, in good undertakings. He doesn't mind you being unified when there's evil involved. But when there's good involved, he wants to drive you apart. So protect yourself from being suspicious of others, having bad thoughts about one another, and have a beautiful, excellent opinion, husnul done, of all creation, especially those whom you claim to be friends and intimate with on whatever level. And one of the advices that we learned is to make 70 excuses for your brother. And I'm not giving you an exact narration, I'm paraphrasing. And then there's also, we know from the esteemed Gnostic Abu Hamid al-Tus, Imam Ghazali, he wrote in his, I believe, the Ihya Ulumuddin, he advised us to make 99 excuses for your brother or your sister, and let the 100th excuse be that there must be an excuse, but I'm just not aware of what it is. So I know that there are those who may feel like this is making them vulnerable to exploitation or to people playing games with that sort of thing, but know that Allah's hand is over all and He's all aware, whether you realize it or not. You don't have to be on your guard or be, vigilant uh, for deception and for people betraying you and all these things that you see are prevalent again in much of the social media. These cautions about not trusting people and really just dangerous advices. Um, Guard your relationships, guard your heart, guard your excellent opinion of all creation, and don't let darkness seep between you and those whom you love. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.